It is day 2 of my 3-day challenge. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to be with you. I am Rob Fenstermaker, a corporate burnout survivor turned empowerment coach, and I'm here to serve you powerfully. Before we started, a storm came rolling through, so you might hear some rumbling in the background. You might even hear a dog who's at my feet, Boomer the Beagle, who certainly doesn't enjoy storms. He's a little bit of a nervous wreck. But I do appreciate you taking time out of your busy day. I certainly honor that, and spending it with me on day 2 of my 3-day challenge. If you were with me last night, you know that we talked about understanding your why. And that why is important for us because that's the foundation upon which everything is built. There's some questions I asked you as you go through considering your why. Some of those questions that I asked is, what would you regret at the end of your life if you did nothing? What would be that biggest regret that you would have? I asked, what are your greatest strengths? What are your greatest weaknesses? And those are things that we just need to sit with and ask ourselves as we're developing that why. Because I like to call our why that bedrock foundation upon which everything that we create in our life is built. Because when we know our why, we know our purpose in life, we know what it is we want to do with our life. We get a better understanding of the direction that we really want to go in our life. And that's why it's so important to start with your why. The why is the first thing in these things I said, 1, 2, 3. That's the first thing that we need to start with, is that why. After we have developed that why, then we move into another space that I would encourage you to really focus upon, and that's just creating clarity in your life. And that clarity that we create, it gives us direction, it gives us focus. And in a lot of ways, I think clarity is an act of love. It's an act of love for ourselves. Because we need to really start understanding ourselves and loving ourselves to know that we have this life for a reason and a purpose. I say love ourselves. We live in a world right now that is just kind of spinning out of control. It seems like everything's just kind of going haywire. And I really honestly believe that a big reason for that is that there are too many people that have too much hate in their life. Their hate for someone else or something else is greater than the love that they have for themselves. And when we start to love ourselves, when we start to develop and really fine tune that clarity that we have in our life, we begin to love ourselves more and more deeply. We need to have a deep, affectionate love affair with ourselves. And that's where clarity comes in, because it helps us to understand, who we are, the direction we want to go with our life. It helps us to create a clear image of where we want to go with our life. It gives us that vision of what we want. And that's what is so important about clarity, because if you don't have a clear idea of where you're going, I can assure you, you're going to arrive there. The problem is, it may not be where you want to arrive. That's why you need to develop clarity so that you know the direction you want to go, so that you are clear in where you want to be, where you want to go with your life. We're coming up on Memorial Day weekend. And that really has a lot of significance to me because, the importance of Memorial Day is where we pause to honor those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice in their service to their country, to their community. They've gone above and beyond the call. They have paid that ultimate sacrifice. And several years back, I had the opportunity to visit Normandy American Cemetery. And if you've never had that opportunity, I would strongly, strongly encourage you to visit Normandy American Cemetery in France. It is a moment in time I'll never forget while I was there, because to call that sacred ground just doesn't do it service. It's a place that literally took my breath away. And the reason it took my breath away, there are almost 10,000 men who are interned there who paid the ultimate sacrifice for one of the greatest battles in the history of the world. It's that battle that changed the course of World War II. They were clear as they, came from the air, came from the sea, what their mission was. They knew what that mission was. They had a deep clarity in what it is they had to accomplish, what they had to do. And what they had to do was to get a foothold on where they were at. They had to create that foothold. Doug, I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. I thank you as well. They had to get a foothold. They were clear on that mission of what they had to do. They accomplished their mission because they were clear. And the reality is the war ended that day. It just took a little bit longer for it to officially end, but that was the end of the war. As they, went through that process, they understood the significance of what they had to do. And that's what clarity does for us. It gives us that clear vision of what it is we want. It helps us to visualize this reality that we only dream of. We can dream of it, but we need to have a clear vision of it. So as you're going through this process, you've created your why, and now you want to start developing some clarity. There's some questions that you need to really sit and ask yourself. I'm going to ask you some of those questions just for something for you to consider. So first question I want to ask is, are you passionate about your life? Just think about it. Do you have a deep passion for your life? Just sit with that question. Spend time with it, wrestle with it, journal, however you want to do it. Another question I really want to ask is, are you a student of yourself? Are you a continual learner? Do you take feedback from others, or do you ask for feedback from others to understand what it is, to help you to understand what it is you're trying to accomplish? That's what's important about receiving clarity. We can go on this journey, but we need to have some clear understanding of where it is we're going to go. And being a student of yourself means we understand that there may be some time of failure. And failure is a great learning experience. Just because we fail, that's not the end. It's what do you do with that failure? What do you learn from it? Do you pick yourself up and move on? Or do you just say, that's it, I can't do it because I failed? Some of the greatest people, the greatest leaders we've had in this world have failed at some point in their life. And if they just gave up at that point in time, we would never know who they are. So failure is a great teacher to us because we learn from it. And that's being a student of yourself. And another part of clarity that I want you to kind of sit with is trying to just distill your moral code down to just one word, whatever that may be for you. It's not going to be the same for everybody, but whatever that one word for you in distilling your moral code down to one word, I want you to sit with that. I want you to spend time just considering what is that one word for you. I also want to ask, are you optimistic about your future? We can sit here and look at the events of the day and, just be overwhelmed by it. But we need to have a deep optimism. I'm not talking about Pollyanna, but a deep optimism in what we can do with our life. And that's part of the human spirit, is knowing that we have this life and this for a reason and for a purpose, and that's to make a difference with it. And that's being optimistic. That's knowing that, yes, we can do something with this life we have. I said last night, I don't know that one person can change the entire world, but I absolutely believe that one person can change the part of the world they have connection with. And that's when you create that clarity that helps you to understand that. As I went through my personal process of creating that clarity in my life, it challenged me to do some different things. One of the things that I have been passionate about in the past, and I was certainly passionate about leading up as I was creating, this idea of, what it is I wanted to do, I understood there's a real need in third world countries for something as simple as fresh water. There's some water here. Because there are parts of our world that just don't have access to clean drinking water. And I understood that, I knew that, and it kind of called me into action. It gave me some clarity to do some things to call me into action. And I did some different things to help raise finances to build some fresh water wells in a couple third world countries. Today, I think we built a little over 20 of these wells, but that's just an opportunity that you have when you create that clarity in your life. And it's an idea of significance. We all want to be successful in life. I want to be successful. I know you want to be successful. But the problem with success is that it can be here today and gone tomorrow. But when we start creating this idea of really leaning into our clarity, being clear what we want, yes, we can be successful, but we can also be significant. And there's a big difference between success and significance. Success, like I said, can be fleeting, but significance is something that extends beyond you. It's something that can go to the next generation. It's something that lasts after you. It's your legacy. So as you're creating this clarity in your life, I want you to ask the question, what is the legacy you want to leave? What's the legacy you want others that come after you to remember you about? What is it? That's something that you really need to get focused on as you're going through your building your clarity. Because once you start creating that clarity, that's what moves you into action. That's where you take that step. You may not know where that step's going to lead you necessarily, but you have an idea. You've created this direction you want to go. So taking that first step, we can't get focused on step number 32. We just need to focus on that next step we need to do. And then the next step and the next step. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. And that's how you start your journey, is to continually doing that. And when you understand your why, when you start developing that clarity in where you want to go, that's when you start taking action. And that's why clarity is so important as well. That's why creating that clearness or that clarity of where you want to go in your life is going to keep you focused. It's going to help you to keep the main thing. Keep your eye on what it is you're trying to accomplish. So I want to see you be that person of significance. I want to see you leave your great legacy for those who come after you. I want to see you make a difference with the life that you have. I would love to hear from you what it is you want to accomplish with your life. I would love to hear from you what it is you hope to do as you take your step of action, as you start digging into your why and you start becoming clear of the direction you want to go, what it is you want to accomplish. Because I want to go along with that journey with you. I kind of want to be there side by side and cheer you on as you go. That's why I'm putting it out this 3-day challenge, because I want to see you create that great story of your life, because we all love a great story. I love a story. I wouldn't say I'm a big reader. I'm not a reader of fiction at all. I'll just be honest with you. The only fiction I've ever had to read is when I was in college and I took a literature class. And that's probably the majority of the fiction I've read. I've maybe read a little bit. Probably 95 to 96% of what I read is nonfiction. But I love to see a story in action. I love to see a movie. I love watching great stories in motion picture. And the greatest story that I can think of in motion picture is the story of Frodo Baggins, Lord of the Rings. Frodo understood, what it is he needed to do. He knew what that why was. And he started getting clarity. And that's when he took his action step and stepped away from the Shire and did what he had to do. He went on his journey by putting one step, taking that first step and putting the foot in front of the other and keep going on and on and on. It wasn't easy for him. And your journey is not necessarily going to be easy for you. My journey has not been easy for me. But it's the act of going through that journey is what makes you the better person who you can become. That's part of your story, is what you experience as you go on your own journey. And that's where clarity helps you. It helps you to maintain that focus so that you know what it is you want to accomplish. You know what the significant thing is you want to do with your life and that legacy that you want to leave. So I would love to spend some time with you, chatting with you, getting to know a little bit about what it is you want to accomplish, what it is you want to do with your life. What's the chapter of your great life story that you want to write? Because as long as we have breath in our lungs, it's never too late. We still have an opportunity to create that next great chapter. And that next great chapter is the chapter that you can create that can change your world, that can change those that you have the ability to connect with. And that's what is so great about taking that next step, going out on that journey. So I would love, like I said, I would love to spend some time with you, just to have a quick connection call. You can reach out to me, schedule some time with me at calendly.com/Rob-Fenstermaker, or you can email me direct, and we can do that at rob@robfenstermaker.com. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for stopping by to take some time to spend this day two of my 3-day challenge. I hope to see you tomorrow on day 3. I look forward to that. I look forward to serving you in a powerful way on that as well. Again, Rob Fenstermaker, former corporate burnout survivor turned empowerment coach, and I want to empower you to live your great legacy as you live a life of significance. I want to see you do that. I believe in you. So the question I have for you is, do you believe in you? Because I know you can do it. It just takes the intentional action of stepping out and doing that. So again, I thank you. I honor you for stopping by to spend day 2 with me. I look forward to seeing you on day 3 of our 3-day challenge. Again, please feel free to reach out to me at rob@robfenstermaker.com, or schedule just a quick connection call with me at calendly.com/Rob-Fenstermaker. I have the link in the comments here. Go ahead and click on that. And let's just schedule that time, because I want to hear what it is that your dreams. I want to hear what your dreams are as you become that great version of what I know you want to be. And I want to see you do that. Again, Rob Fenstermaker, former corporate burnout survivor turned empowerment coach. I'm here to serve you in a powerful way. Again, I honor you for stopping by on day 2, and I look forward to serving you as well on day 3. Have a great evening. Take care. Bye.